This is really one of the simplest VWAP strategies to understand. If you could just have the discipline to wait for it to present, it gives you easy trending reads and you could be out of the market very quickly, go on with the rest of your day. That's what we did today on stream. We had this nice long here on ES, trading back there. Normally I'm on NQ, but it was a nice setup today on ES. So I want to go over the bounce play. All of my strategy is available on ASFX TV. You can get it for free. Just find the link down below. But the first thing that we could have done is trade this bounce off of New York VWAP here. You can see it's following a pretty volatile bar. I think there was 10 o'clock news around here. So maybe that big red bar is following that. But regardless, you're going to be very quick with it, right? It comes back down to New York. Maybe this is your entry signal. And then before you know it, 3 minutes later, you're back at the high. So if you weren't already looking for the longs, they went by without you. But that definitely is a viable long entry. We'll take a look at other markups as well. But before we get into my trade, just real quick, one other tip. I speak about the first 15 minutes of the day. I normally don't find my first trade within there. And I don't take the first break of it either. This is the first break of the open range high. Today, does it run that you can make substantial profits in these 10 bars higher? Absolutely. But you've seen more times than not, if you've seen these videos before, that it often doesn't run. So it's not a place I want to get induced into any position. I look at that first break as saying, okay, buyers are in. I should probably be looking for longs today. Now my job is simple. I'm only looking for longs. I don't need to think about shorts. Where do I want to take it? I know I'm looking long. Now I just need to go, I want to be long off of the New York VWAP. So like I said, your first opportunity is back here. The second opportunity is when it pulls back to that same VWAP again. So I get in as it turns, right? We're getting in as it builds a higher low. This technically is a break play. So the break play is this break of a high of day VWAP anchored to the high of day in purple you can see here, telling me that buyers are 100% back in control. Let's go make the next higher high. It's clearly buyers in control today. And I've spoken about this as well. People get scared out of trades because of just the way they read structure. If I'm in a long, I'm focused on the structure underneath me. What that means is, as long as we're still making higher lows in favor of a long trending structure, I like the trade. Too many people are looking negatively of saying, oh Lord, I don't like this lower high from back here, right? Because it is. We're making a lower high. This can't possibly go higher. Let me not go in long or get out of my long, right? That's too zoomed in. There's always going to be a lower high on a pullback because it's making lower highs until it's not. There's the higher high. So what lower high was I speaking about, right? Until there's these lower highs on top, potentially, with a lower low, right? Lower low here, lower high, and a lower low, then we're still bullish structure. So stay in the longs, keep on that one side of VWAP, and you'll sit through your trades a lot easier. So hopefully that made sense. My trade is just trading with the structure, with the right side of this New York VWAP bounce. Now, another thing you can talk about is the stop loss placement. It should never be at current structure. Now, today, did it matter? Technically not. It went nothing but into profit. But there's plenty of markups. I could probably find them very quickly where it's not done touching this New York VWAP. It builds the higher low here. And it's still building bullish structure from back here. And I still want to be long. So you want to make sure you don't get tapped out too early right here. So previous structures back here. This is just around like that open range high. Saying if we break these two VWAPs and we're back at the opening range, maybe buyers aren't holding that control like I thought. Let me get out of this long. Let's take a look at another example from just last week. It's the same idea. Here's that first break of open range high. Didn't really run like it just did on that other markup we looked at. I don't want to long it. What I know it's telling me that buyers are in, great. So you could maybe scalp some move up in that new high of day, or you let it pull back to New York. Here's the higher low. Let's go trade back in the direction of trend. Same thing, stop loss isn't right at current structure, going the previous to the left. And again, I guess you could say it didn't really matter. A stop loss right here would have survived. But that's just not where you want to put it. If you're looking to find consistent wins and hold through the idea until it's invalidated, you want to give it that space. This whole strategy is about the New York VWAP bounce. So in this markup, the blue one is New York. Anchored today is 9:30 Eastern Time, New York Open. And the black one is the overnight. Now, you definitely could use that one. It's all in my strategy as well. But just look how well these bounces off the New York are. You can make some money on that scalp, on this push away, another push away. I have a video on this day as well. That another note to speak on, which I just said in the last markup, is lower highs. We have the first break of open range high, exactly why I don't chase that break, but also a lower high here. So if there's a lower high, I'm going to get scared out of a long for no reason, then I'm not going to take these and be able to make money on the clear bullish day. But they're not really scaring me with these lower highs because we're still making higher lows underneath. All right, so hopefully that makes sense again, going over a second time. That if I'm in a long, I'm focused on the structure underneath. If I'm in a short, then I'm focused on the structure on top, aka I do want lower highs. Those are more important to me. And we can take a look at this markup here. First break of open range high comes here, right? Small little points, new high, whatever. Pulls back to New York. Here's the higher low. This whole VWAP is where higher lows like to be formed when there's a clear trend. So I want to be positioned as close to this VWAP as possible so I don't get caught chasing it and maybe now I'm long up here, right? Mid move at a higher high, well away from VWAP. I don't know how much more gas this thing has. A pullback could be coming in, right? And it does. But if I can get in at the VWAP, I'm probably timing that pullback, saying we're probably going to slow or stop around here, and the next leg of trend could happen from here. It's the same idea we were doing today. I like the longs, but I'm not going to just jump in up here. It pulls back to New York. If you missed that, which we did, I'm not going to just jump in at the top of that big strong move saying, okay, I hope there's more in it. I hope it just keeps going higher. See it slow down a little bit, create a higher low. Okay, now I'll get involved. As soon as I see a higher low off of VWAP, now I'm interested. And like I said, all of this is explained in detail for like 3-4 hours on my full course here, Futures 2.0. Everything it is in there, so definitely check that out. Now, another thing to look at is on the shorts. There's another example today, so we'll take a look at that one first. If you go to your trading view and look at ES, there was a long in the afternoon, right? Here's our first long we're looking at today. Makes a strong new high. So do you want to be buying it up here away from VWAP? I mean, not really. It's tough to do that consistently because it's not bouncing off of any level. But then it pulls back to New York. It actually breaks underneath the New York and gets back above. Now, if you're watching it on the regular trading hours, we'll switch over there real quick. It's breaking below. Oh my God, sellers are in control. It's 3 minutes after we've been above it for hours. So first of all, that's not a sell signal for me just because it's still very much so bullish sentiment on the day. But it's also helpful when you watch the electronic trading hours. You see now the New York VWAP turned blue, like we looked at in another markup. And that overnight from the 6 p.m. Eastern changeover of day, that's the black one. If sellers take this VWAP, then yeah, we might be coming lower. Sellers are fully in control. But let's see how we handle this one. So once we bounce off that, there's our higher low from back here, right, where I took the trade. Then it gets back above both VWAPs, and now there's another viable long to trade the trend continuation. So let's mark up that one. If you trade the turn, right, you don't want to just be buying it at that line after red candles, hoping it bounces there. But you see it bounce, you see this level be respected. Okay, here's our higher low. Now I'm long. Stop loss can't go at current structure here. It's got to go to the left at previous back here, right? Because this is the most obvious stop loss where it could easily sweep you out again and still work its way back higher. If you put it along there, you trade back up, you get 1.5R, 2R, whatever number you want to put on it, whatever stop loss you had, right? But you don't need it to make a new high day, right? High day is back here. It didn't get there. And you don't need it to. I don't need these giant breakout moves. If I get a nice low price close to VWAP, my job is to try to capture that move. It's not to jump in away from VWAP and hope I could scalp out a little bit more, right? Less consistent. You don't know how much more move there is in the tank before another pullback. But I know if I can get close to this VWAP, even if this just chugs along here, I get a great low buy price at VWAP, I could probably make money. So now going back to these other markups, same idea. It breaks above New York, but it's still underneath the overnight here in black. So let me just wait. Then it gets back underneath, similar to today, the market we just went over, got back above. All right, now let's go continue the trend, right? Trading back down to the low of day structure we've already been. Another thing here, it slices right through New York in blue, but it holds the overnight building higher lows. Gets back above, buyers are back in. Let's go continue the trend. So there's just another bonus view up for you. I know we're talking about the New York one here in the beginning trades. That is what the most simple strategy is trading the bounces off of this. But if you want to add an extra layer to it, I do use that overnight VWAP for sure, because you'll see in those examples, you want to have that extra layer of defense, protection, and a little bit more confidence that we're holding these VWAPs. Trend is clear. So hopefully you made money today. Make sure you join Stream, first month free. Just find the link down below, as well as if you need a new Top 1 Futures account. They're running a big sale right now with my code, so check that out as well. I appreciate you guys. I'll see you guys on Stream tomorrow morning.